What does the recent commentary from retailers tell us about the overall economy and maybe the state of the consumer in particular? Let's bring in our retail panel. Joining us is Sandra Campos, former DVF CEO and a CNBC contributor, and Bryan Gildenberg, managing director at Retail Cities and the host of the CPG podcast network. Welcome to both of you. Bryan, let me begin with you. As you look down the commentary from companies from Dollar General, Macy's, Capri, American Eagle, Big Lots, Foot Locker, on and on and on, you keep seeing the same kinds of phrases: weakening, fewer tailwinds, softening demand, shares of pressured consumer. How worried should retailers be, Bryan?
Well, I think the other word that has repeatedly come up is discretionary. And I think that's probably the most important thing to keep in mind, which is that shoppers are clearly pulling back on discretionary purchases and non-essential purchases right now as they look to recalibrate and rebalance their budgets. So retailers that are particularly reliant on those discretionary purchases, either for volume or for margin, as Melissa was just talking about with Dollar General, are certainly under pressure. I think when you look at Walmart here, Walmart is benefiting from a couple of key things. First of which is clearly their position as a really strong value-based grocer. The other piece is that people keep forgetting that the SNAP benefits for consumers that are working but making low incomes reset in March, and Walmart seems to do disproportionately well out of shoppers that need to recalibrate and reprioritize what they're spending on. So Dollar General softness, as a for instance, not surprising, given the pressure that shopper is under, given the pressure that the shopper is probably under to consolidate trips at Walmart. I know there's an idea that Dollar General does better during an economic downturn, but in reality, DG really doesn't. They struggle just as much as any other retailer and are often really badly hurt by consumers who are under pressure.
And also, I would think that their market, which aims at the middle to lower income individual, those are the individuals who probably suffer the most from inflation and other macro pressures. Sandra, why are consumers recalibrating, particularly with respect to discretionary items? Is it because of inflation? Is it because food prices have risen so much, because rents have risen so much, and they just don't have extra money to spend?
It's all of the above. And, we still have a hangover from the pandemic. And during the pandemic, the discretionary was what was actually advantageous for retailers, right? The discretionary income that people had, they were the beneficiaries. So, if we look at what the consumer still today, 70% of the country still makes $100,000 or under. And of that, 60% of that population actually has $10,000 more in debt than they had pre-pandemic. So we're still having that hangover. We still definitely have inflation, higher gas prices. We have higher food costs, as everybody has said as well. And so they're being more selective. They have to be more selective because they're stressed financially. And so the consumer behavior is changing. And, to what others have said recently as well, they're looking at trade downs where they can, going to Walmart. Walmart's going to be a beneficiary of that as well. Target will be also. But I think also we have to look at, where retailers have placed their inventory and where they've focused on some of the upgrades in technology and creating a better experience for the consumers as well.